hip hop and pop and all the musics like rock as well is going down the drain. All these music genres because the modern days of 2010s and the present like 2020s hip hop is watered down and it's ruined by younger generation, by Generation Z, Gen Z, Zoomers, and also pop music is kind of boring now. But pop music was better when it's teen pop, when it's back in the 1990s and the 2000s, like bubblegum pop. That's my favorite. Hip hop was real and the best from 1980s, 1990s, and 2000s. Once 2010s come along, things are changing and people are doing the same exact thing. None of this stuff is original. This is about money grabbing. Like they want to be famous overnight. They only got one hit song as a one hit wonder for these rappers and then they will forget about them. Including the ratchetness of the hood rats of 2020s and 2010s. Like these female rappers talk about inappropriate things that back then the female rappers wasn't talking about that all the time. They wasn't talking about it all the time. They only talk about other things. They don't talk about this raw ratchetness stuff, this ghetto type of things that they want to start to make money and selling. And then the men today, they still talk about drugs. They talk about how much money and everything. They're calling females inappropriate words, the B word stuff. Same thing with the females, call them N words, but men always saying the N word. Well, that N word was created by white people, the white supremacists. During slavery, that's when black people get lynched with that word. During slavery, that's that word they hear once they got lynched. So in the 1980s, they decided to flip that N word. Instead of using that ER, they just put the letter A in it. So they could be able to try to make it cool and fun, but it's still offensive and is negative. And these type of black men, they trying to hate themselves with that word. And they trying to use that as friend. Well, we don't use that. And you're trying to use it as enemy stuff, but you just use it any kind of meaning. That is a racial slur created by white supremacists. Black people didn't create it. Y'all just took that word and trying to flip it. And it's not cool either. It is an awful and it's a bad decision that y'all ever did. Y'all should never take any word that a white supremacist, what they did in the past. You don't see Hispanic people and Asian people trying to use a racial slur against them people. You don't see Jewish people using racial slurs against their own people, their religion, or Muslims are doing it. But it's always black people. It's always. Y'all always talk about deleting and race people. Like y'all having weapons and stuff. And y'all want to be broke all the time spending so much money on some nonsense. On cars and houses and everything. So y'all don't know how to invest money. You don't know how about finances and everything. Stock market, entrepreneurship. Y'all just want to take the easy route. That's the easy way to make money nowadays. Nothing else, which is music. And y'all music from 2010s and 2020s, it's not as great. Y'all always talk about jewelry and talk about the same things like drugs. Y'all talk about the cars, you talk about money. And the woman's twerking and stuff. When y'all twerk, you farted. So every time you twerk in videos, it look like you're farting. You're passing gas when you're twerking. Do you understand that? You're trying to waste gas and waste fart from your butt locks. So your butt's trying to squeeze the hot dog out. You're trying to squeeze the hot dog out, that sausage, when you trying to do this dance. And you know, one country in Africa, I think it's Tanzania. Tanzania is the one that bans twerking. Africa should do this. All them countries in Africa, they should ban twerking permanently because it will put an end to it. Y'all was twerking since the 1990s, or probably y'all was doing the 80s. Like y'all started doing the evolution of it, like like different styles, but y'all popularize it, and it's from the South of America. Y'all should get rid of that, but y'all still want to do it. And Generation Z, Zoomer, Gen Z, they just want to pass it on to the next generation, which is Generation Alpha. So Gen Zs, they the ones who were born in 1997 to 2012 or 2011, right? Then Alpha generation is like 2013 to 2024. Or it could be 2025, but the beta generation starts in 2025 to 2039 or 2036 at some point. No, 2039 or 2040. So those two generations, it's going to be hypnotized. Alpha generation already did it in the early age when they're 5 already. They're 5 years old. They're 4 years old. They're 6 years old. And they acting a fool because of y'all. Yeah. You need to check what y'all doing. And also, y'all going to be single forever. Y'all not very good at dating. And this is why the passport bros, the men, they're getting out of this country. They're sick and tired of you females. Because you think people are corny and lame, like the ones who are educated in being geeks and nerds. I'm a geek and nerd too. And I love video games. So you don't like a loser. You don't like a person. You're going to call them corny because they playing video games. Video games, you can actually make money by doing live streams. You could do live streams by playing video games or anything. Nowadays, you got live streams. You could do it on Twitch. You could do it on Kick. Kick is an alternative website like Twitch. And we have YouTube and we have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We got everything. What else we got? Twitter, but Twitter is now called X. And then we actually got other social medias. Let me see, the streaming services. Not the streaming services. Another streaming platform called Trovo. It's another one. It's just like Twitch and Kick. There's another one called D Live. I know people using Bingo in other part of the social media streaming platforms. But you can definitely make money for playing video games. And also you could make your own video games and sell it. You could become a video game developer, video game designer. You could do 3D modeling, 3D animation. You know that video game industry is making more money than Hollywood movies, Hollywood TV shows. I mean, music is making a lot of money too. So video games is still more mainstream since the 1980s. Actually, it came out like in the 70s, but it's more mainstream in the 1990s when PlayStation 1 came out. Because Sony, they don't want to do the cartridge, what Nintendo was doing. They trying to team up with Sony, making the Nintendo PlayStation. But PlayStation wants to do CDs, while Nintendo wants to do cartridge. So the cartridge hold less memory, and the CD-ROMs hold a lot more memory. So it could hold like a gigabyte or something. So it could definitely hold a lot more data and hold the games of 100 megabytes, not gigabytes, 100 megabytes to 500 megabytes per game, like close to 1 gigabyte. That's what it was. And video games are still stronger and powerful. And also, they add in DLCs, download content, everything for it.